get set up here and figure out what I need to do next while we do an ad on Twitch. Oh, we were trying to figure out why LDTK is not running. Well, that might be why. Ah, that probably is the number one reason. Hmm. Mm. Ah. I see. Let's fix this up real quick. Um, I don't know how to fix that one. Bin. Ah, no, I do. Okay. Oh, I see. Oh. Probably want to start with this. Hmm. So how do we do this? I want two different. I want two different files basically. There's not really a whole lot in my profile actually. Call it native install, but it's actually MAMP. Delete that. Hmm. No, we don't use Zone Framework anymore. Oh, interesting. This is also broken. Maybe try to error check that somehow. could start with that maybe. And then bin. Yeah. How do we want to do bin? I have so much crap in here that I don't even think I use. I should really go through and delete stuff I don't really use at all. What did I do here? This is untested. Let's test this. Oh. That worked. Now let's do something like yes, that also works. Cool. Be not dynamically updated. Creating duplicate session names because it is an alias and not function. Alright, so this yeah. Then the other thing, what's in here? There's a bunch of stuff in here. This obsidian.sh. Oh, I see. I mean, maybe the easiest thing to do. Well, definitely the easiest thing to do. I don't know. So you've got some scripts that should only be on Linux that would go in bin. Then you've got some scripts that should only be on Mac OS that should be in bin. Then you've got some scripts that should be both Mac OS and Linux in bin. So the question is, how do I organize them? Do I just have like Nix bin and Mac bin? and just add those paths, and then bin is the common one. I mean, that's not terrible either, because then stuff that shouldn't be on both. Right? Stuff that shouldn't be on both will just go into, you know, we can move it anytime we find one that doesn't belong where it goes. I'll just have to be more aware of when I'm putting things in the wrong spot. I don't think that's a terrible way to do it, though. How are other people doing this? Also, let's pull up my browser. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why Twitch isn't giving me the transcoders that I want. Which I thought was part of the reason why we did this stuff. But I think that's okay. I might try to build my own restream at home that does what I want it to. I mean, I don't even have to do it at home. Maybe I could try putting it in the cloud once I figure out how to do it. Let me just ask the internet. Go here. You can do a web search together. And let's just search for dot files separate Linux and Mac OS files strategy. Common strategy involves organizing files in a version control repository with separate directories for platform specific settings while maintaining shared configurations. Oh, that's actually a good idea to actually call it like shared or common. And separate directories such as Linux and Mac for OS specific configurations. Maybe I could do it as a subdirectory. So you have bin slash Mac and bin slash Linux. Right? And then run stow. Wait, what is stow? Tools like GNU stow. Oh, interesting. Are frequently used to manage these configurations by symlinking files from the repository into the user's home directory based on platform. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know there was a tool for this. I was doing it all by myself. Another strategy involves file manager like Chamois and Yadam, which automate the process of managing symlinks and handling platform-specific logic. These tools can manage complex setups, including conditional file inclusion based on OS or hostname, and are designed to simplify cross-platform file management. For example, Chamois allows the users to define templates that generate different configurations based on the target system. Oh, that's cool. I want to look at both of these things. I don't have it. Okay. GNU Stow, a symlink farm manager developed by GNU Project that offers distinct software packages or datasets stored in separate directories to appear as if they are installed in a single directory tree. Oh, that's interesting. So that allows me to have a single bin. It achieves this by creating symbolic links from a target directory, such as user local or user's home directory, to files within a stow directory, user local stow, where each package resides in its own subdirectory. This approach is particularly useful for managing software compiled from source, enabling easy installation, upgrades, and removals without conflicts. Stow is implemented as a Perl script, of course, with a backend module. Is free software license under GPL and does not maintain persistent state between runs, ensuring safety and predictability. Stow is commonly used not only for system-wide software management, but also for organizing configuration files. GNU Stow is a symlink farm manager. That's exactly what I just read. Or software and or data located in separate directories in the file system and makes them appear to be installed in the same place. For example, user local bin could contain symlinks to files within user local stow, Emacs bin, user local stow, Perl bin, etc., and likewise recursively for any other subdirectories such as share, man, and so on. This is particularly useful for keeping track of system-wide and per-user installations of software built from source, but can also facilitate a more controlled approach to management of configuration files in the user's home directory, especially when coupled with version control systems. Stow is implemented as a combination of Perl script providing a CLI interface and a backend module which does most of the work. Documentation. Originally, Stow was born to address the need to administer, upgrade, install, and remove files in independent software packages without confusing them with other files sharing the same file system space. For instance, many years ago, it used to be common to compile programs such as Perl and Emacs from source and install them in user local. When one does so, one winds up with the following files in user local man1. Now suppose it's time to uninstall Perl. Which man pages get removed? Obviously Perl 1.1 is one of them, but it should not be administrator's responsibility to memorize the ownership of individual files by separate packages. The approach used by Stow to install each package into its own tree, then use symlinks to make it appear. Oh, this is useful for keeping. Okay. A package is a related collection of files and directories. Target directory is the tree in which one or more packages wish to appear. A stow directory is the root of the tree containing separate packages and private subtrees. When stow runs, it uses the current directory as a default stow directory. An installation image is the layout of files and directories required by a package relative to the target directory. Installation for Perl includes a bin containing Perl and A2P among others, and an info directory containing tech info documentation, a lib Perl directory containing Perl libraries and man1 directory containing man pages. It's a pre-installation package image, which exists even before Stow has installed any symlinks. I see. A package directory is the root. Okay, wait. Invoking Stow. Let's just see some usage examples is what I want to see. Syntax of Stow command is following: Stow options action flag package. Each package is the name of a package in the Stow directory that we wish to install or delete from the target directory. The default action is to install the given packages, although alternate actions may be specified by preceding the package names with an action flag. The following options are supported. Set the Stow directory to dir. Defaults to the value of the environment variable stowdir if set. Or the current directory otherwise. Ignore regex. This is repeatable. This repeatable option lets you suppress acting on files that match a given Perl regular expression. Okay, here's what I want to see. Some examples. Since version 2, multiple distinct actions can be specified in a single invocation of GNU Stow. This will replace Emacs 2.3, 21.3 with Emacs 21.4a using a single invocation. Nine multiple Stow directories, target maintenance, check Stow, resource files. I'm sure I could figure this out from the documentation, but let's find someone using this, using GNU Stow to manage your dot files. Begin by creating a dedicated directory for your dot files and initialize it as a Git repository. Organize your configuration into subdirectories that mirror the structure of your home directory. Once your files are organized, navigate here and use stow command to create symlinks in your home directory. For instance, stow the Z shell configuration. This command creates the symlink pointing to the files here. The structure within the dot files repository must match exactly the intended structure in the home directory for the symlinks to be created correctly. For multiple configurations, automate this process. Okay, let's read what this guy says. Accidentally stumbled upon something yesterday and felt like sharing. How old is this file? 11 years ago. Well, thank you, Andre Bosco. Why the hell didn't I know about this before? Blah, blah, blah. For example, if you want to say manage the configuration for bash, vim, and uzbol, whatever that is, bash has a couple of top level directories. So your home directory looks like this. Right? We would then create a dot file subdirectory and move all the files there. Huh? Oh. Then perform the following commands. Just stow bash. Without any arguments. Oh, that is pretty easy to use actually. So I guess each one of these is relative. Yes. Each one of these directory trees, I see, is kind of like a package. It's relative to the home directory. So bash, all this stuff goes to home, right? Uzbil, .config goes to home. .local goes to home. Vim goes to home. Vimrc goes to home. That actually is very useful. Okay, now let's compare that to Chamois, whatever this is. This one's specifically for dot files. Manage your dot files across multiple diverse machines securely. What does that mean, securely? Were we planning on doing it insecurely before? I just set a reminder here. Okay. What does Chamois do? Chamois helps you manage your personal configuration files, .files, .git config across multiple machines. Templates to handle small differences between machines. Password manager support to store your secrets securely. Okay, that's where the security aspect comes in. Do I need that? Importing files from archives, great for shell and editor plugins. Full file encryption using GPG or Age. I'm running scripts for everything else. Oh, look at this. You can actually see how to pronounce it. I was saying chamois. Let's see how wrong I am. Whoa, I was pretty close. Chamois. Chamois. Wow. I don't know a darn thing about French, but that's pretty darn good. Chamois. You can install Chamois and your dot files from GitHub repos on a new empty machine with a single command. Wham! As well as curl as installation, you can install Chamois with your favorite package manager. Chamois runs on all popular operating systems, is distributed as a single statically linked library with no dependencies, and does not require root access. Should I use Chamois? See what other people think about Chamois by reading articles, listening to podcasts, and watching videos about Chamois. Read how Chamois compares to other dot file managers. Explore other people's dot file repos that use Chamois. Okay, let's take a quick start. Chamois init. Manage your first file with this. Chamois add bash rc. This will copy bash rc. Hello, what's up, young ring? This will copy the bash rc to... I'm going down a rabbit hole right now. This is not good. But I want to get some information about this at least. And maybe we'll take some notes here. Okay. This will create a new Git repo in .local share where Chamois will store its source state. By default, Chamois only modifies files in the working copy. You add a file, then you can edit the file. What? Edit the source state. This will open in your editor, make some changes and save the file. You don't have to use that. Okay, good, because that's bizarre. See what changes Chamois would make. Chamois diff. This is like way more complicated, I think. Apply the changes. Oh, look at this beautiful mermaid generated diagram we have here. Oh, wait, is this? What? I can select this? What? What? What produces this output? It actually could be mermaid. I don't know. Chamois can also be used with GitLab, Bitbucket, SourceHut, and any other Git hosting service. So the commands are summarized in this sequence diagram. How are you doing? I'm doing all right. How about you? Home directory. Chamois init, the local repo. Git push. Okay. Home directory. Chamois add file. Edit file. Chamois diff. Chamois apply. Chamois cd. Git add. Git commit. Git push. Using Chamois across multiple machines. On a second machine, initialize Chamois with your .file repo. I'm fine too. Glad to hear it. Chamois init .files diff set up a new machine with a single command. Okay, this is what we want to know. You can install your .files on a new machine with a single command. Blammo. Use GitHub. Oh, that's interesting. What game are you developing? I'm working on a top-down dungeon crawler right now. And I also have it's a 2D dungeon crawler, and I also have a 2D side scroller I'm working on. So I have two different things. I've been mostly focused on the dungeon game for really mostly the past year. And the dungeon crawler, the purpose of the dungeon crawler was to kind of familiarize myself with Godot game engine. And the purpose of the side scroller was to familiarize myself with Unity game engine. So they're in different game engines, and I'm kind of weighing the pros and cons of each. But these are two games that I want to finish before starting something new. I think they're pretty close to something anyways, to something that I could potentially release. And then we would just have to, I think the dungeon crawler is basically in a releasable state right now. It's not super interesting, but it's playable, and I think it's in a good state right now to release it and get feedback from people and then iterate on it and improve it. And maybe I just leave it kind of where it is and then start the next one and see how the next one can be better. Because I was trying to do like the most simple thing possible. I didn't want it to be something that necessarily, keeps on growing and growing and growing. I kind of want to restrict myself to a certain point and just kind of leave it at that. And whether it's great or not doesn't really matter, because then I can build something else from scratch and ideally be able to build that second thing better than the first thing. Yeah. Let me just see. If apply, edit file, merge file. This looks even more complicated. Let me watch a video on this real quick. And then I'm going to cut myself off here in a sec in terms of looking at this crap. Chamois. Let's look at the videos real quick. Supercharge your development workflow with these CLI tools. 2025. Oh, that's recent. DevPod. Oh, interesting. Mise en place. I see. Pretty cool. Yeah, thank you. We will get back to the game stuff in a sec. I just need to look into this a little bit more and then kind of dump my thoughts out into some notes. Oh, Mace can do that too. That's the problem I have. Hmm. I guess that's to build everything. Um. Yeah. No, that's cool. That's all it does. Oh. LSD. Hmm. Mm. Bluefin OS distro box. Oh, DevPod. Oh, he talks about DevPod in here. Cause I'm curious what that is. Wait, let's look at Bluefin OS too. What is this? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, a lot of distros are doing this now, where they have like images for your OS, so you can just like roll back your system very easily. Because most of your stuff that you install is like, right, just some other person's software, you know? Containerize all the things. Heck is a dev pod. Oh. Now he talks about Shimoa. Well, I think that's a whole different wormhole to go down. So I'm just gonna make some notes here. Today's note. To do something about dot file management across Mac OS and Linux to keep both environments clean in the same Git repo branch. Possible solutions So chamois. Chamois and chamois and Gnusto. Specifically designed for specifically. Oops. Specifically. Hold on. Specifically designed for versioning and maintaining dot files. GNU Stow designed for managing symlinks in installations. Much simpler. I think it is much simpler. More feature rich. I think that's the difference. I think Chamois has more features, and I think Stow is just more basic, just does one thing, very GNUian. Go back. Back. Let's go back. Boom. Boom. Okay. So I'll look more into this later. Seems like a bit of a wormhole. So for now, I'm just gonna go make the changes I need to make here. Right? Which is what? So this helps. Right? The other thing is we need to get rid of some things. Oh. I guess I closed it by mistake. So Z shell RC. Me's not installed. Right. I could just install Me's. And PyEnv is not installed. So we'll go into bin and we want to delete LDTK because that's causing us grief here. I think that's why my LDTK is not starting up. Oh, let's see. There we go. LDTK starts up now. That's how we got into this endless pit of figuring out my dot files. Yeah, very cool. So I think this is good. I think the graphics kind of sit at this level where everything is 16 by 16. And then that's kind of where I'm going to limit scope for this game. That'll have several advantages like creating maps much easier, animating characters much easier. Everything will be just much easier to do because we'll be working on a smaller scale. And then in the next version of the game, we'll do things at a larger scale. But that's cool. Okay, so this is working and that makes me happy. Look at that. See, like things switch very quickly. Just switching desktops is very slow. Figure that out real quick. Awesome. Switching desktops slow. In Windows 11. Awesome. WM. Commonly linked to the compositor configuration, particularly when we zoom PyCom. A known fix involves switching PyCom's backend from the default, often XRender, to GLX, which significantly improves performance. I'm not using that though. Fast Comp Manager is what I'm using. Switching desktops in Awesome WM can be slow due to various factors. XRender, okay, same thing. Faster alternative is Fast Comp Manager, a lightweight compositor, which shows significantly lower CPU usage, blah blah blah. Additionally, slow desktop switching can be influenced by number of clients on a tag, as switching to a tag with many windows causes delays updating. Sure. Therefore, optimizing compositor setups such as a faster backend or switching to a lighter alternative like Fast Comp Manager is recommended. But let's just say, for argument's sake, oh, well, going back here is still pretty laggy. This is pretty fast. There's nothing on this one. And now my whole screen's frozen. Yep, that's what happens. Actually, it doesn't really happen on my other screen. It only happens on my external display. Sometimes desktop switching freezes the display completely, right? Even without using any compositor. I often have to rerun xrender to get the screen to display again, to update. I forgot to say that it mostly happens on external display. Often tied to GPU driver issues, X rendering settings, kernel level display handling. Some systems fail to trigger proper screen redraws without a compositor like PyCom. Users have reported that screen only updates when the mouse moves and normal rendering resumes. Additionally, NVIDIA users have experienced tearing. That doesn't happen. Tearing would be an improvement to what I'm saying. Try running a lightweight compositor like PyCom or this may prevent freezing. I just told you doesn't. Sure the drivers are up to date. Let's try PyCom. Only happens on an external display. It's just multi-monitor render handling problem in Awesome WM. When displays are disabled via xrender, some clients, especially Chromium-based apps, can become unresponsive or fail to draw, requiring a full Awesome WM restart or manual xrender refresh to recover. This is documented in Awesome WM GitHub issues where HDMI hot plug events or mode switches causes screen freezes and client rendering failures, particularly when the external monitor is involved. The window manager does not always properly handle screen topology changes, leading to stale rendering states. Avoid disabling and enabling HDMI via xrender off during active sessions. Wait, what does that mean? Restart Awesome WM after display changes. Use xrender to reapply mode resolution instead of toggling off and on. That's what I do. Ensure your RC Lua properly handles screen connect signal for dynamic display changes. What does xrender off do? Disables the output. Oh, avoid doing that. I don't do that. Use Xrender to reapply. That's what I do. Hmm. It looks like it's just a problem with awesome WM. How goes it? Yo, what's up, Hippo? It's been a while. What are some alternatives? Tiling alternatives to awesome WM that don't have issues with external displays. I don't know if I've tried i3. I don't know if I've tried i3 since I stopped streaming from the same computer. Yeah, I've been busy. Our studio unionization passed. Awesome. Congratulations. That sounds good. Qtile supports shared or per monitor workspace and is less prone to display update issues. Try that, Qtile. Oh, hey, you know what's kind of cool actually about streaming from my other computer is that now if I want to switch first Ubisoft in North America. Ubi. Okay. Nice, nice. Ubisoft is in, was it Montreal? The headquarters? I feel like every day I spend a little bit of time trying to solve these dev issues. But you see, like, look at this. This screen switching delay is completely intolerable. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to close everything down. And what we're going to do is we're going to try i3 again real quick. Actually, wait, this is in Tmux, right? Yeah, Tmux is fine. Tmux, we can just keep our sessions rolling. Did I hit cancel last time it asked me something? I don't even know what it asked me. Yeah, see, desktop switching here is instant. The problem is when we have Chromium involved. And Chromium and I think Godot also have issues. So what I'm going to do here, oh, what I forgot to do. We're in Halifax. Okay. I don't know Canada very well, but I've heard of Halifax. Sounds like a very cool name for a place without knowing anything about it. Don't know why. There we go. Let me just do this real quick. X init RC. Let's try i3 again real quick. And then I forgot how to quit awesome WM. Well, actually, I can just do this. Quit. Give me a sec. Start X. We're going to try with i3 now. i3 did not run my Xrender. Or, oh, there it is. Wow, haven't been here in a while. Small city, a few hours north of New York City, a few hours east of Toronto. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was Eastern or Central time zone. But I knew it was kind of in that area. I guess it's closer to New York than I realized. Okay, so i3 actually might be way faster. Also, I forgot what my run button is. I thought it was Windows R. No, it's D. for D run. I should change that to make it R, because R just makes more sense. Okay, so let's pop open Godot. And then let's pop open. Oh, that does resize. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is pop open my, oops. Pop open my browser, my cursor. Oh, yeah, my cursor is like lagging, just moving around in general. Although i3 does feel a bit faster somehow. Okay, so this one, we can move over. Oh, right, because I set this to specifically open the profile that I wanted it to. Oh, look, it's got the same session from before. Cool, so that's all working. This seems faster somehow. I mean, I'm not doing anything yet, but it just feels faster already. And then we'll go here and I'll do. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's faster. Let me wait for my Brave, just slow as shit. I don't know why that opened over there. Oh, that is instantaneous. Okay, I did it too many times and now it's much slower. That is way faster. And let's try adding compositing just to see. Instant fast comp manager. Okay, i3's the winner. Let's try another one. We'll try with PyCom real quick. i3 is awesome. Yeah, I was using i3 originally. Then a friend of mine was telling me about Awesome, and I wanted to try Awesome. And the whole time from the beginning, I was having some performance issues switching desktops. It was happening on i3 at the beginning, and that's why I started trying Awesome. And then I found out that the issue, when I was already on Awesome, I found out that the issue was caused by OBS actually. So I was streaming from my Linux machine while using the external display. And apparently that's an issue with OBS doing a display capture on an external screen, or maybe just doing a display capture period. I'm not sure. So I was just like, oh, it's OBS. So then what I started doing is, so usually my Linux machine is my stream machine. And so I usually do my streaming from this computer. And the setup that I have is that it was set up for streaming games from my Windows PC. So I would do streaming from, how do I do this? I have a capture card on the Linux machine, which captures the screen on the Windows machine. And so I was using Windows just to play the games, and then Linux to just capture and transmit with the OBS running on Linux. So then when I started streaming my Linux development, right, I was like, oh, well, OBS is already set up on here. I'll just use this, right? But it looks like there were performance issues. So maybe a few days ago, I switched it the other way, where now whenever I'm on Linux, I try to run OBS on Windows. And whenever I'm playing games on Windows, I try to run the OBS on Linux, just to make sure that it's always on a separate machine. I didn't think that just doing a regular video capture display capture on the same machine would have such a bad performance impact, but it looks like it does. So looks like TLDR, if you're going to run OBS, get another computer. It looks like that's just the just always try to set it up so that OBS is never running on the same machine as whatever the heck you want it to run. Why is there a... Okay. There we go. But this, yeah, this is amazing. This looks so good. Look at how fast these are switching. Okay, I'm glad I figured this out because that was irritating. Now we can turn off the compositor altogether. What's your take for compositors? Do we go PyCom? Okay, now the only bad thing is just moving my mouse from one screen to the other sometimes lags. I don't know why that hangs up. Yeah. And I don't have any compositor running right now. What is going on? HTOP? Yeah, I'm getting like massive CPU spikes. From what, Xorg? Yeah, that is very weird. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen on the external display. But when I just run my mouse in circles on this machine, oh. Wait, I think I might know why. I think it's Chrome. Friggin' Chrome, man. But I think the reason is because of that. Nope. Oh, wait. Okay, so I think the reason is if I do this, I think it'll happen here too. Yep. So when I run my mouse in circles here, probably if I just go back and forth too, see how it's freezing when I'm switching focus between splits? That causes it to freeze up. That's okay. We're probably not really going to do that very much. Now I know it's causing the issue. So what's your take? PyCom or Fast Comp Manager? I guess let's try PyCom. And then if we have issues, we'll switch back. Okay, so. Oh, I have no idea. Yeah. I don't know. This switching desktops is way more important to have working than the other thing though. Although, now I gotta remember how to get my stuff working here in the way I wanted it to. We might still run into issues. What was it, Command W? Yeah, I'm calling it Command, but it's the meta key, obviously. Oh, this is also insanely fast. All right. Okay, now that I wasted so much time on all this, I'm going to play an ad and get some more water and use the bathroom. But I'll be back in a few minutes and then we'll get into it. To update you on what I've been doing here, Hippo, if you're curious. If you're curious. Oh, one thing I do kind of like. Oh yeah, this is laggy too, switching back and forth. Which wasn't really laggy before. It has something to do with the splits. The splits? Yeah. This might, yeah. What might end up happening is I might end up switching to something stupid like KDE. I have a feeling it's going to happen. I think I have KDE installed on here. But whatever, we're going to try this again for a little bit and see what happens. But what we were working on is in a separate project. The project list. In a separate project, I was working on a store example. KDE is just so solid, loaded, but solid. Yeah, that's why I never liked KDE a long time back. Load. Missing dependencies. Hmm. Oh, that's weird. Maybe we can make a new one. Did I not just fix the dependencies? I think I did. So, what I've got here is my store example. Oh, this was another thing that was really laggy. Let's see if this is a problem. Every time we ran the game, oh no, it's perfect. Oh my god. Oh, stuff just works. See, this is the problem I have. So one of the reasons why I stopped using Linux as a desktop for a while. I love Linux, but like sometimes just having your desktop working is like an impressive feat. You know what I mean? Cool. Yeah, this is all working and performing very well. So we can buy items from the shop, and now it shows the stat bonuses here. Oh, geez. Yeah, running my mouse in circles is not a smart idea, I guess. We have some items that give some kind of stat bonuses. So this is the item shop. Right? So I did this in a separate project. We're going to figure out how to tie this into my current project. And then I'm going to show you here. This is my new version of Excalibur is available. Okay. This is my notes on how the darn thing works. I made a shop screen, and these are all the separate components. We have a shop screen, we have an inventory display, a shop inventory, probably player state. Maybe I should make a little bit bigger. Right? I think that makes sense because these two nodes are also bigger, right? But these are UI nodes, these three. They're kind of, I didn't really separate my business logic from my UI for these. I was originally going to do that, and I just decided not to. I just like, just to, you know, get things implemented, kept everything together. But that could be another like, level of separation, in which case this diagram would get a little bit more confusing. But this is like a, would it? Yeah, this diagram would get way more confusing because we would have shop inventory, then we'd have a shop controller, and then the shop controller would have to communicate with the button pressed signals. It would get more hairy. So I just like left it, you know, a little bit tightly coupled for now because like who really cares? I think if you're planning on having multiple different UI components that use the same business logic, I think that's a good time to split out your business logic and your UI, unless your UI code is just gigantic, in which case I think that's another good time to split out your UI code from the business logic. Like if you don't really have that problem, I don't think, in game engines. Best code is shipped code. That's right. I think game engines, you mostly WYSIWYG, you know, creating your UI in the tool, in the editor. But in cases where you're writing UI code by hand, I think that's a very compelling argument to split out your UI code from your business logic, because in that case, it's a lot of code to look at, and it can get a little bit cluttered in those files. Those files can get gigantic. So this is it. I have, where's my other note on this? Item shop ideas, item shop design. I used a different word for it. Shop? Was it always shop? Shop screen design. I could rename this to item shop screen design, so that way I can find it easier later. So this was the original design from the design jam. Oh yeah, item shop design. Item shop design. Design jam. This was my original ideas. We had some shop models. My original idea was to have a shop controller with the functionality of the shop. Decided not to do that for simplicity. Then decide what items can actually do. Extra lives. Power-ups. Yeah, I need to think more now. I need to return back more to gameplay level thinking to kind of zoom out. I was in implementation mode for a while, and I was like, I don't know what these items should do. But I have an implementation that works. And then how we use the items. So, yeah, I think items can be used instantly as soon as they're equipped, basically. Right? So one idea is that if we go with this health potion thing, as soon as you buy the health potion, or maybe not as soon as you buy it, I'm kind of I'm allowing you to sort of buy and sell back for the full price the items that you bought, with the idea being that, you know, just to make it a little bit more versatile and like simpler. Of course, we could make that better later by having like a used item price or something. Here's the UI design, and here's the breakdown of the UI. This one I also want to rename to say item shop, so that again, when I search for item shop, everything comes up. Right, so we have a single shop screen, and then in the viewport, it's gonna go full screen like this, and then for the multiplayer experience, we'll have multiple instances of the shop screen in here. And so that's how I have this designed right now. If we go to the item shop screen design, sorry, item shop, wait, item shop. I thought everything was called item shop now. Oh, unsorted. It needs to be go to a sorted place. No. Item shop. Design jam UI breakdown. Another one that's not shop screen design. Screen design. What was the other one called? Oh my gosh. Oops. Ideas, design, UI breakdown. I need to link the other one in here because I already forgot what it's called and I just had it open 2 seconds ago. It's so bad. Too many diagrams. Item shop. That's the canvas. It's not those. It is an Excalibur diagram. Just go in here and look in Excalibur. Class structure. Shop screen. Yeah, I did. Yep. Item shop. There we go. Now everything is an item shop. Cool. So this kind of ecosystem that I've got going in here right now is containable into a single shop screen. At some point I was using like a signal bus to send some messages, but signal bus can get hairy, especially when you want instances of things. So I got rid of that. Not that I had to in my example, because my example only does one player, but this will allow me to do it for multiplayer. So the idea being that a shop screen encapsulates the shopping experience for a single player. All that said, I'm going to leave this up on my screen and we're going to do a quick BRB. Actually, I don't think you can really read that anyways. So I'll just put my thing up. I'll be right back. Just doing a quick bio break, 3 minutes, get up, stretch, etc., etc. And then we're going to look at pulling some of this into this game, I think. Cool, I'm here, just washing the floor. LOL. What did you spill something? Okay. I'll be right back. We're back. Sorry about that. Oh, what the? Oh, it does work differently on this screen. Oh yeah, you're right. That's not my password. Okay. All right, let's get to it. The children are just filthy. Yeah, that's true. Kids be like that. Now, the only thing. That's okay. We're not really going to do. So, this one has a mouse implementation, but we're not going to use a mouse implementation because our game's really not going to use a mouse. We're going to use a keyboard. Okay, we've got that. That's good. Might need another Godot instance, but for now, I'm going to open this and check it out. Oh, you know what? That's a good point, too. Like these health bars up in the top left. We should color these based on the player's color. Because what again? What does it look like when I lose health? Am I not losing health? Oh, okay. Yeah, I should change that, huh? Also, it's kind of weird that the rest of my UI is kind of vector and this UI is pixel art. Uh-oh. How do I get out of the pause menu, you guys? I think what's happening is this is getting processed in two places and it's pausing and unpausing very quickly. Okay, that's a bug. Let's look into that first. That's a little bit more important. Where would that even be? Okay, this is the wrong project, which is fine. Let's go. This is a problem too. Mice not being here and no pyenv. Do you want pyenv on Linux? Let's just do a quick I could just install them. Yeah, I could just install them. I don't really need to move it from my dot files if I'm just going to support them. What's going on here? My download's stuck. There we go. Why is this so slow? Yeah, why is this so incredibly slow? Not my internet. I just checked. Definitely not my internet. I just got 1 gigabit download on a speed test. Definitely not my internet. Okay. So I should fix that. Okay, now let's see. Where does this... Oh, there's a bunch of stuff that I don't have committed here. Grasslands, Ace Sprite. Right, I was doing tiles and stuff like that. I'm even wondering if I should even bring this stupid shop menu into this version of the game, or if I should leave the shop menu for the next version of the game and just kind of stick to my original idea of just working on levels and graphics and game level stuff. Right? Because what the game actually needs is more levels, more graphics, like more tile sets and things, more levels, more sound effects, and more music is really what it needs. What actually changed in my levels here? We don't know. Hmm. Oh. Hold on. Maybe this is the bug. Viewports. Why was the options screen added to the viewports group? Let's check that out in the UI real quick. Options menu, viewports. Let's remove that. Right? Basically reverting that change. Okay, it doesn't fix the bug. But it was very suspicious. Right? It was definitely very suspicious. So, but that's not options menu, actually. That is the pause menu. Definitely shouldn't be in the viewports group though. So let's go here. This feels like it just runs faster in general. And let's open up the pause menu here. And then our pause menu script is called pause menu. Very predictable. That's good. Pause menu. Nice. I'm just going to pop this open on the side to get this a little bit more centered on my screen. Okay. Oh, input handlers accept, cancel, on, cancel, signal bus, emit, pause, false. That's weird. So then the other thing is what? Game.gd maybe? And then we have a on cancel, presumably? No? Cancel? Oh, signal bus pause connect on pause. Okay, so let's look at signal bus dot pause. Signal bus dot pause. Immature. It does happen in game.gd. Why are you giving me a hard time here? Oh, physics process. This is why this is a problem. Has anyone just pressed action pause? And the other one happens on input, right? So the other thing too is we might want to, yeah, we might want to set process input false. I don't know if it's gonna make a difference because then we unpause it. I think the problem here is that we shouldn't be doing this on physics process because that'll happen on every physics frame. I think doing it on input is better. However, I don't know that'll fix the problem either. So let's see. uh, has anyone just pressed? Oh, wait, what? That's how we do it here also? Oh, that's wild. Wait a minute. Input handler. So wait a sec. We're actually doing this twice for any device on cancel. Let's see if that does anything. That's crazy. Now my guess, let's just put some debug outputs here to make this more obvious, but my guess is what we're doing is and then over here, let's just confirm what I'm thinking. Yes, exactly. So we have pause, and then we have on cancel, unpause, and then immediately physics process pause. So the solution to this would be to set physics process to false. Maybe, I don't know. Let's just see. Let's just step through a couple solutions here. That's the low hanging fruit, but I don't really know that should be happening in physics process anyways. Right, that kind of does it, right? But then when we unpause, well, actually, that should be in here. On pause, if should pause, show screen, pause menu, disable all screens, game.disable. Oh, it already does that, right? And then game.enable. So already does that. Actually, does it do that? Hold on. Show screen. Oh, yeah. Wait, show screen. Disables all screen, then enables one. Mm-hmm. And if it should pause, it shows all screens. It shows the pause menu. Otherwise, it disables all screens. Yeah, I think though, I don't know why this wasn't happening before, but I think this just needs to happen in input. And then we have events, input event. And if we want to make it consistent, we'll do it like we did here. But we can also just go on cancel just to get something real quick. Oh. Right, because that handles all the logic. Okay, so we'll make it identical. Var input handler. And we'll just go, if I could hit the right buttons. What don't you like about this? Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. Right. Let's just go at the bottom here, function on cancel. And this will be like this. This might be the same loop though. Mother trucker. It is. Oh wait, what? Why is it still showing physics process? That makes sense. No, it doesn't. Oh. Oh, what? Oh. Alright, now we're mixing two things that we shouldn't be mixing. The weird thing is that it's not even showing the pause. Oh, there it is. Game, unpause, game pause. Why is that happening now, but it wasn't happening before? And I think what I need to do here, well, I need to check a couple things. I need to remember what this return statement does. Handle input. If handle then halt, oh, return. So I think this should actually be true. But I'm not sure if that means stop propagation through the list or like consume it and keep going. I think it means stop propagation on the list, which is why it was false. Yeah, which is probably why nothing has changed here. Yeah. So we'll put those back to false. I think what we want to do here is go, well, yeah, now we're going to actually use this. I think what we want to do here is handler event dot set no, handle, oh wait, handle event dot event dot input event dot handle hold on. one of these. Yeah, input event is the Godot event. And then that sets process input. Let's go back to Godot real quick and just look. Input event. There's a way to set it as handled, and I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, action strength is action press is canceled, match is press. What? Oh, it's not in here. It's somewhere else. On the viewport, I think. And we have to get that with get tree. Action handle or something handle. On handled input. Set input as handled. Set input as handled stops the input from propagating further down the scene tree. But see, if it's stopping it from going further, that's not going to go the other way, right? It's not going to change our parents, right? This does not affect methods in input. Methods in input, only the way events are propagated. And what is this on? What am I looking at right now? Viewport, okay. I think this is usually get viewport or get tree. Where the heck does get viewport come from? Oh, it comes from node. Is that right? Oh, cool. So I can just get viewport. So let's just get viewport dot set input as handled. Oh, it doesn't even take an argument? Oh my days. Interesting. I'm wondering if this should even be in the core, right, in the abstraction. It should just, anytime it handles an event, it should set it as handled. Blah, 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 blah. Handle input. If handler handled an input, all right. Return. Like we want to set input as handled after here, basically. That is the only function. Okay. This is the base abstraction. Well, let's see if my quick change has any impact. Yep, that's it. That fixed it. Okay, so I think what I want to do, if this were a production system, I would leave it where it is and say, good, it works. Let's test it, make sure it doesn't break anything else. But it's not a production system, so we're going to try to break it to the max and see if we can. We're going to assert that what we believe is true here, which is that we can stop the propagation right here in my root handler implementation. So where was that? That wasn't here in the game, but it was in the pause menu. Right, that we decided to do that. So let's take that and let's move that in here. Now the first thing I'm going to try doing is naively set the input as handled before we even do that. Oh, get viewport is not a function. Why not? What in the duck is input handler? Input handler is not a node. Ah, input handler is just a regular class, right? Yeah, class. How do we create it? We create it like this. So we've got two options. We could pass in the viewport into the constructor, hold on to a reference of it, or we can pass get viewport into the handle method. What is the complexity of getting the viewport? Returns the node's closest viewport ancestor. The node, if the node is inside the tree, otherwise returns null. I wish it said something about the time complexity of this. I don't know if that means every time you call this, it dynamically goes up the tree. The other thing here, give me a sec. The other thing here is this is called input, but maybe what we do is use GUI input. Son of a gun. It's probably not getting the pause menu not handling, right? Yeah, it's not getting it. But that might be for a different reason. That might be because this maybe doesn't have a focus mode because it's a regular node. So let's just try this real quick. No. That would be it though, right? Is that we would want well, where is this button? Where does this button exist? In here. I guess we would want this to Because the thing is, it really should be a GUI event, is what it really comes down to. But the fact is, even when I do this, it's not getting, well, let's do another test here. Because it might just not have focus, right? Because right now that button has focus. Yeah. So that's why that wasn't working. But then the problem becomes, how do we handle this focus? Right? Like we only have one thing here that can get focus. Wait, hold on a sec. Oh no, hold on. Go back here, focus mode, all. No, there's no way for me to set that focus without doing it programmatically unless I click on it. But I do believe that it should really be that type of thing. But let's just see. Focus mode. Let's just say focus none on this real quick. Let's just see if I'm on the right track. No. So in order for this to work the way I think it should, is that has to be all. So it just has to have focus. But nothing's giving it focus, right? Yo, what's up? So nothing's giving it focus. It's not right, but I should probably put this back, and I should probably just use input. Now this issue I have here of stopping the propagation. Input. The heck do I use this input for? I think the only thing I'm ever using this input handler for is UI. I don't think I use it for, like, I think all the other player movement. Is that right? Maybe not though. Let's do a quick search. And see what we're using it for. Oh. That'll help me figure it out. So debug menu, UI left, right, and accept, more UI, accept cancel menu, more UI, cancel up, down, left, right, UI. It's all UI stuff. UI, volume slider, UI, menu up, UI, any device, what is this, game.gd, pausing, UI. It's all UI stuff. It's all UI stuff. The problem is that if our class doesn't have focus and a child of our class has focus, we're not getting the event. Let's ask Gemini, what is the difference between input and GUI input? I am implementing a pause menu, and the pause and the unpause event is propagating to its parent and pausing the game again. I want to stop propagation. Stop propagation to the parent. Which seems good for GUI input. However, the base node does not receive the input unless it has focus, meaning the pause menus buttons having focus will prevent the unpause button from triggering. That's a very long question. Let's see what you do with that, AI, huh? The issue you're facing where the game pauses and immediately unpauses because the event is processed by both blah 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 is classic input propagation problem. The key difference lies in when these functions are called and how they stop the event from moving further. Okay, this is good. They have some best use cases. Input. Global actions like pause, screenshots, and console. Highest priority. Called on every node in the tree. Ah, okay, yeah, that's what I'm seeing. That makes sense. And then GUI input is control specific actions, buttons, and sliders. Selective is only called on control nodes if the mouse is over them or they have keyboard focus. Solution is to use set input as handled because input is called globally. Both your main game node and your pause menu node are hearing the pause at the same time. Right, which we know. Oh, unhandled input. Use unhandled input for game world toggle. This ensures that if a UI element like a text box uses the key first, the game won't pause. In your pause menu script, to unpause, use regular input. Since your pause menu button might have focus, you should use input here to ensure it catches the escape key even if the button is highlighted, but immediately stop the propagation. Why this works. When you press the key to unpause, the pause menu input runs first, as it's usually lower in the scene tree. Pro tip, the shortcut alternative. Instead of manual code, you can go to your resume button in the inspector, find a shortcut property, and assign your pause action to it. This automatically handles focus and accepting events for you. Benefit, allows players to unpause using the same key they use to pause without any extra logic and input. Resume button in the inspector. Oh, I don't have a resume button. But that's okay. So then the question becomes, okay, so pause menu uses input. That is 100% right. Then we could stop the propagation manually here. That will fix this problem. The bigger change will be if we pass in, we probably want to pass it in here to do like a delegate thingamabobber, right? Where we get pass in the value of get viewport here. So we pass in the viewport and then we manually cancel here on everything. I guess let's try it and see. It's going to break a lot of stuff, right? How many places do we use this? This many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, that's not that many. But it is a lot to try something that we don't know if it's going to work or not. Yeah. Okay. So the simple thing is to just fix it here in one place. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this here. And then if it becomes a problem in other places, then I'll put it in other places. Then I'll put it set input as handled, which is basically yeah. But this isn't even, this is doing it unconditionally. So this means anytime this screen gets any input, it's gonna handle the input. If I do it here, handle then halt, we have 3 cases where we handle then halt the event. Return false, return handler.call. So actually even doing it here is not where we want it to be. We kind of do it here. See, this is also tricky because handle then halt, Boolean returns whether or not we should halt. Oh, maybe that is right. Maybe what we're saying here is that inside this statement is where we want to say get viewport dot set input as handled. That's actually where we want to do it. This is kind of, it works because we only have it works as it's a pause menu, and we want to pause menu wants to eat all the input. So this is fine. This is fine, but putting it in here I think is more accurate to say like, hey, like I don't know what the situation would be, but if we wanted something to have precedence over the pause menu, then in here is where it needs to be. That way we can let that higher function do its thing. But for our current use case, this is okay. I think it's kind of where we're at with that. Right? Now we can pause and unpause things. And that actually works the way that it should, holding the button. Interesting. Holding it here doesn't do anything. Holding it here doesn't do anything. But double tapping it and holding it? Don't know why. The other thing I just thought of, I should write these ideas down. The other thing I just thought of too is like most of these guys, they have projectiles that they shoot at you. And they're like kind of heat seeking, right? Or they're not heat seeking. They throw them, oh, I see. They throw them in your direction. I guess that makes sense. Right? They throw them in your direction. So some other ideas for attack mechanics is heat seeking that just kind of follows you. And another idea is one that doesn't even throw it in your direction, but just kind of the way that we work is we can't shoot it in the direction of an enemy. We have to position ourselves and shoot it straight. Like they can aim, we can't really aim. We have to aim by positioning ourselves and facing in a particular direction. But we could have some enemies that just throw, see, like these guys are throwing things to the side and diagonally. So what we could do is make some, maybe even those guys could be more simple. And instead of throwing them straight at you, if they're facing down, they'll throw it straight down. Like whatever direction they're facing is the direction they'll throw it. Let me write down some of these ideas in my notes. Love ideas. Love bugs. Enemy brainstorm. Input selection design. Enemy attack brainstorm. Oh. Right. So I think what I did here is I had everybody throwing everything and it was just like a huge mess. So I'll add this here. Right. Quickly divulges into a sort of bullet hell. Multiple enemies all firing at the same time can quickly divulge into bullet hell, which is not the feel you're going for. Avoiding the nightmare. Instead of enemies aiming and throwing in a direct line towards the player's current position, have some enemies throw directly in front, throw in a straight line in their facing direction. Skeletons throw the direction they are facing. Ghosts can aim their attacks. Some attacks can be heat-seeking. Weapon projectiles update to the current every frame to move closer towards the player's latest position. Alright, so this kind of proposes another way to fix this same problem that we're having here. Also, do not know why. Do not know why this happens this way. Can I copy a link to this? No. Zoom to selection. No. That's okay. Then I can go here. Make UI HP elements match the player's color for easier readability. Because right now it's a little bit confusing who's what, like whose health bar is where. Make it more clear which player's health bar is which. And then rethink projectiles. Now it's added to enemy attack brainstorm. I was at some point using this project view. Oh yeah, here. So let me make a new thing. Cannot unpause game. So that'll go into the daily done. Now there was definitely a way to expand this without clicking on the expand button. I don't know. I wish I could grab all of these and move them. Add more levels, more tile sets. Yeah, that is something I want to do. And the animations and the sounds. I'm gonna add another thing to backlog. Let's say ponder. Decide on item shop. I might not put it into this one. I have the implementation. I did the research, which is fine. It's not wasted effort. But to cut scope, I might not include it in this version of the game. I might do it in the next version of the game and save that as like a 2.0 feature. Oh, I see. That's right. That's how i3 works. Don't know how that happened. Also, another idea that I came up with. Excuse me. My notes screen here. Another idea here for enemy attack. Throw screen poo. I thought it said poo. That would have been even funnier. Maybe instead of throwing, slimes can stomp for AoE damage. Throwing the scythe. And maybe this, instead of throwing scythe, can melee swing. I don't think anybody does melee damage right now. Stomping seems like it would be easier to implement. Maybe it's the same effort. It's just the animation that looks different and the hitboxes that are different. So it's probably same amount of effort. Yeah, I need to eat now though. Fortunately, I didn't get too much done here, but we fixed our desktop problem, which was a really serious problem. Like, look how fast I can switch desktop now. A little bit of lag there on the tail end, but that's amazing. And we're using PyCom, so that's good. We fixed a bunch of stuff here. We fixed the pause menu, so we made some progress. I'm going to eat because I haven't eaten yet, and it's around that time. So I'm gonna eat, and then maybe come back later. I might have some. I have to work on some videos today too, so I'll probably do that a little bit before I come back on stream. But this is good. Also, how cold is it outside? It is still pretty cold outside. Okay, so maybe I don't do that. But okay, let me do that, and then yeah, we can do some of this art stuff too. This should be pretty easy changes to make. Okay. Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. All right, I'll be back later. Sorry for the very distractible stream today, but we did fix some things. So any kind of progress is good progress in my mind. And I have some video stuff that I've been slacking on the YouTube side, so I will work on that today as well. And then after doing that a bit, and I'll probably take a break and then come back and do a little bit more of this. And so what we'll be focusing on here is probably the levels and the graphics design aspect again. It's like I kind of don't feel like doing that stuff sometimes, especially when I'm streaming, because I feel like people want to probably watch the programming stuff more. But this is kind of what really needs to be done, I think, is really more graphics, also sound effects. I should get more into sound effects this week and do more music. I could stream making the music too. That could be potentially interesting. For that, I will have to bring in my other computer though. But this is good.